Greetings, folks. Anila Horm here, and I am very excited to announce a brand new World of Warships group initiative we are calling Naval Alliance. And this replay is my first contribution to that effort. The goal of our group is to showcase and offer commentary on each other's replays and material, and all of this is intended to be for your entertainment and benefit. So our group currently includes Captain Blackjack Honor, to whom credit needs to go for spawning this idea. We have Dutch Delights NL from the Netherlands, Peter Slack from the UK, Darkwing Glacier from the US, and obviously myself. And I'll include links to my fellow members' YouTube channels in the description below, and certainly encourage you to take a look at those and subscribe. So we do look forward to contributions from everyone and hope you enjoy them and find them beneficial as well. So let's go ahead and get to this particular replay. This is Captain Blackjack Honor in the Tier 5 German destroyer, the T-22. He is in a ranked sprint domination match on New Dawn. There are 8 ships per side, so this is from the second sprint. And the team lineups are heavy with battleships and destroyers and 1 lonely cruiser per side. As far as ship upgrades and commander skills, the captain has gone with a maximum challenge build, sailing a completely stock T-22, and a commander that he grabbed from another ship that doesn't have exactly the skills that one might normally see on a destroyer. With the 12 points that he does have on this commander, I probably would have gone with priority target and last stand. Well, those are kind of obvious. And then for the third level skill, either torp reload, BFT, superintendent, or survivability expert, depending upon what I wanted to get out of the ship. And then lastly, obviously concealment, and then with the last 2 points, either adrenaline rush or expert marksman. Now the captain is going to be doing a lot of gunboating, and so I expect that should he respect this commander, he probably would go with expert marksman as his second level 2 skill, and with BFT as his third level skill to maximize use of his guns. So getting to the replay, the captain has moved here to Alpha and is coordinated quite well with his fellow Gurmiyashi to take the Alpha cap, and they've certainly discouraged the opposing Nicholas that moved to Bravo from advancing. In fact, the Nicholas here, instead of trying to back out and get out the other direction, pushed forward and is now in full view of both the Gurmiyashi and the captain here, and he is the first ship to be taken out in the game, claiming first blood for the captain's team. So looking at the map tactically, we have 2 allied ships that have moved south towards Charlie. The remainder of the ships had moved to Alpha, and securing Alpha was pretty easy because the bulk of the opposing team moved to Charlie with just the one destroyer, the Nicholas, which was sunk, that went to Bravo. So the captain and the Gurmiyashi are now moving into Bravo here. So I'm going to note here that the Gurmiyashi and the captain do coordinate quite well in their engagements and keeping things spotted and taking out at least contesting the opposing destroyers that are in this game. Here the captain gets very briefly detected by the opposing, I believe it's a Mutsuki, and he's going to move forward. Now, this is one of the places where the T-22 struggles a little bit compared to her bigger sisters. She does not carry the hydroacoustic search, but here is the opposing destroyer. And so if I were in a higher tier German cruiser, I would likely just full in charge the opposing destroyer, light him up with hydro, and then gun him down or torpedo him, depending upon what the situation would allow. So in this case, the captain has pushed against the opposing destroyer and is trying to get him driven back from Bravo. The allied team does now hold Alpha and Bravo, and tactically has a relatively good position in order to defend the 2 caps they have. Now the captain is doing a lot of gunboating in relatively close proximity to the opposing team. I think he's really benefiting from the fact that he's got an allied destroyer that was south of him lighting things up at Charlie, and he also had the opposing destroyer's smoke screen to mask him from his gunboating. It's very important in these battles, well, ranked in particular, but frankly any battle, that the destroyers make an effort to stay alive, because destroyers that can stay alive, especially those that can stealth torp, can really set the pace and the tempo of the match, and through their torpedo sends can sort of offer area denial, a lot of map control. So that's really crucial here. So the captain's leveraging, again, his position and his smoke here to fire on the opposing ships right now. He has to be a little bit careful here because he doesn't know where the Mutsuki went to, although the Mutsuki has now just showed up again. And laying down smoke screens and camping them is a very serious invitation for taking torpedoes. And this has been discussed in way too many forums that I won't lecture on too much here. But the captain was being rather brave in staying in that smoke screen, not knowing where the opposing Mutsuki was, and was fortunate that the opposing Mutsuki had actually moved north and was not in a position to torp the captain. So the captain is now sent torps on the opposing Koenig, and he's going to move back here to get back into concealment. So the captain, because he is sailing and in fact he was fired upon and had most of his health taken, obviously, in that one salvo from the Koenig. This mechanic where destroyers are going to take full penetrations from battleship AP shells is a matter of extensive discussion, and Wargaming has announced that that will now end, or that mechanic will now be changed, and Captain here does get a torpedo on the Koenig with flooding, and it does look like the Koenig is flooding, or in fact he just damaged Kant. So yeah, this mechanic of taking full pens is going to change, and no more than 10% of the shell damage will be taken by destroyers from battleships starting in 0.7.11. So that salvo that the captain took likely would have resulted in far less damage had that mechanic been in place. So captain is moving back down here, try to keep things lit up. He has a very narrow margin between his range for his torpedoes and his concealment. In fact, he's taken a rather bold step here to open up again against the opposing ships, since he has lost most of his health. But it looks like the Mutsuki is not inclined to be firing his guns, and it's unclear whether the opposing Koenig intends to fire on him, which he does. It looks like he is going to miss. The captain did duck back into smoke, and the opposing Koenig is down. So here again is a place that if I were in the T-22, I would get out of my smoke. To me, I use smoke mostly as a countermeasure to get out of trouble, to retreat, or to get into concealment and be able to get away from opposing ships. And I tend not to use it to camp in, because again, smoke screens are invitations for torpedoes, and they basically advertise your presence, especially like if you're moving into a cap, and you don't want to just automatically smoke up if you get into a cap to try to take it, because you've just told the opposing team exactly where you are, even if you weren't detected. But the Allied team currently has a very substantial point lead. They also have a one-ship advantage, and so things here are looking pretty good for his team. Captain elects to open up here again. He's facing opposing Mutsuki. You can see that the bulk of the remaining team is actually quite far north, and they're not really in a position to support this destroyer or help take any caps. So the captain and his team are having a pretty substantial success in putting down the opposing team, and this destroyer is getting focused out right now. And the captain gets the kill. Here is the other opposing Mutsuki. Mutsuki is generally perceived as having among the worst gun systems of all destroyers, with only 2 rifles. They do reload in 5 seconds, so their DPM is very low. But there are occasions where it makes sense for Mutsuki to fire his guns. Fortunately, that was not one of them, and the Allied Gurmiyashi is able to finish off the last of the destroyers. So captain's team is going to win this very handedly. Good job by the captain. The T-22 can be a fun little gunboat, and it also has competent torpedoes for its tier. But obviously the captain has demonstrated that you can in fact succeed despite having a fairly handicapped ship in terms of its modules and also having some unusual commander skills for his ship. So I hope you enjoyed the replay and the commentary. And again, definitely look forward to producing content for you and offering input and guidance to my fellow YouTubers and group members in this Naval Alliance. And with that, we hope to see you out there, and we wish you happy sailing.